Did you ever wake up and think, I'd like to see fish falling from the sky today? No. Well, believe it or not, in London, yes, the land of pubs, spiderwebbed alleyways, and decidedly not seawater, there were days when fish plopped right down from above. Stick around, and I'll tell you how, when, and why this wild weather event turned the city into an impromptu fish market for a few bewildered souls. By the end, you might just reconsider opening an umbrella or maybe a fishing net. Picture London, circa, well, centuries ago, let's say late 17th or early 18th century, because commotion about fish rain seems to spring up in those centuries, though it's frankly so odd the archives mention it only in passing. The River Thames is not yet the tourist-friendly snaking postcard, it's more like a wold-eyed stew-green thing that locals largely just ignore. Yet, on one particular morning, someone looks up not at the smog, the eternity of soot, but at the sky flickering with falling silver glints. Fish, someone cries. And no, it's not a street hawker peddling fresh catch. It's actual fish, plopping onto muddy cobblestone, dingy rooftops, and perhaps into a startled baker's dough. Maybe one poor pup bites into a sprat, surprised by the sudden seafood surprise. Now, I'm not saying it stormed herring, though that'd be delightful. But small fish brats, minnows, got themselves airlifted via some freak atmospheric mischief. Science, unaware how to label this, shrugged and shook its head. So what magic could cause fish to tumble from the heavens? Let's follow the currents literally and figuratively to chase this curious caper. Here's where it gets meteorologically mischievous. Imagine a tempest off the English Channel, a fierce whirlwind so strong it scoops up water, debris, and tiny fish from nearby rivers or streams. The humble sprat or minnow is tossed about like popcorn in a blender, carried aloft. Then, because gravity is no respecter of fish, dreams dropped miles inland. To our ancestors, this was the cosmos playing a joke. To modern folk, it's textbook trauma marine, or waterspout. A tornado over water that sucks up everything light enough: fish, frogs, maybe even a startled duckling. And after some airborne joyride, gravity says hello and deposits them wherever the wind dies. But, let's be clear. This isn't the raining tuna, more like petite squirmy treats. Picture someone opening a carriage door, but a fish lands on their lap like an unwanted gift. It's a twist of nature that reminds you that Mother Nature has quite the sense of humor. And perhaps no regard for personal space. Accounts are as patchy as a Mothitan quilt. One diarist, Sir something or other, because diaries in those days favored titles over clarity, jotted, "How small fish did fall upon our roof and startled the cook, who thought it a commentary on her cooking." Another letter, sealed with wax and curiosity, described sprats rolling on the kitchen floor like tiny, wet tumbleweeds. And here's a modern comparison. Imagine stepping outside after a rainstorm, expecting just droplets, and suddenly tripping over guppy-sized critters flopping around your feet. The inner child would laugh. The inner neat freak, not so much. Despite the dry accounts, you can almost hear someone sigh. Well, I suppose we must fry them for supper, as they scoop soggy minnows from the steps like stray kittens. I'd love to quote directly. "It rained fish," someone wrote in simple elegance, and that's all the drama needed. A wonderfully laconic summary of one of nature's weirder moments. Let's add some scientific seasoning. Modern meteorology teaches us that strong updrafts over water can hoist small aquatic life skyward. It's rare, but not unprecedented. Think tornadoes over lakes or river mouths that gather lightweight creatures. Then, miles inland, the vortex collapses and plop, those poor fish find themselves audience members to gravity's grand finale. Is that logical? Not exactly. Fascinating. Oh, yes. Slightly chaotic. Absolutely. It's nature's own version of expect the unexpected, except you're the fish, and you're way out of your element. A fun analogy. It's like if your vacuum cleaner suddenly reversed, ejecting dust bunnies back at you, but these dust bunnies are guppies, and the vacuum is a tornado, except cleaner. So, as bizarre as it sounds, it's physics. Storms updraft plus small river creatures equals airborne fish. Just don't try this experiment at home. Physics can be finicky. Fish too. Storms today still surprise as hail, the size of tennis balls, snow in deserts, even more stories of fish, frogs, or spiders raining down. The web is full of fish rain videos, though some may be prank bait. In 2011, Honduras reported genuine rain of fish, or at least that's what the locals called lluvia de pescado, and Australia's had its fair share of animal showers. But London's case is special because Well, who expects it under those gray skies and polite sidewalks? Imagine scrolling through TikTok, fish rain in London. LOL. But decades ago. That was real and unshared on social media, so the surprise lasted. Our ancestors didn't have NOAA alerts, only parish gossip. My inner history nerd loves that lack of instant notification. A sudden fish downpour would be the lunchtime chat, not a trending hashtag. So while modern life dials 311 for hail damage, imagine someone centuries ago asking for fish cleanup crew. Yes, we have fish. No, I don't know where they came from. So what became of those fish pelting? Were they gathered, eaten, tossed? Likely a little of everything. Perhaps households rinsed off those soggy sprats and flicked them into pans waste not, want not? Maybe some were fed to cats. Look at whiskers twitching in surprise. Or used as fertilizer in the rare garden plot. If you were a roving cook or fishmonger, that rain would feel like a weird blessing-free inventory. Though a bit skywashed. Good catch. Maybe. Bizarre origin. Definitely. There's a moral in there. Sometimes gifts come out of nowhere and from great heights, literally. Use what you get, even if it's fish that flew. End of day. This event was odd. Yes, but people adapted. A quirk in weather becomes a quirky story, eventually whispered into history's ear. Did Londoners later tell tales of fish falling days as omens? It's unclear, but I'd like to think someone remarked, "Fish rain, good luck or bad. Depends if you like sprats." In many cultures, unusual weather becomes folklore. A rain of fish might herald fertility. Or just an inconvenient cleanup, but London's stiff upper lip residents, they likely shrugged. Well, the sky decided to share its seafood. Now, can we get on with our day? I can imagine the phrase, "It's raining cats and fish," appearing in cheeky limericks. And think. Today we'd file an insurance claim. Back then, you'd swap stories over tea. Maybe scribble a poem. Fish fell from Thames brewed storm. Our rooftops shuddered at the squirm. A bedtime rhyme, except the bedtime worry is whether the fish will fall again. Here's where I muse softly. Fish rain is a reminder that the world doesn't always make sense, and that's part of its beauty. Gravity cares little for context. Storms don't check with the homeowners association. For us moderns, it's a nudge to stay curious. Even in familiar streets, the extraordinary can slip in like soggy sprats on your doorstep. Life is rarely tidy, and surprise is nature's gift. It's also a lesson in adaptability. If fish fall from the sky, fry, compost, or be baffled. But don't be defeated. And quietly, maybe there's something bedtime appropriate here. A weird, gentle story that reassures us that even fish raining in London eventually becomes just another odd tale to tuck into the folds of history. Let's time travel to now. If fish fell from the sky in London today, the news would light up phones within seconds. Fish rain in Camden. #fishstorm. Double quotes drone footage. Memes. Panic about water contamination. Maybe a pop-up fish cleanup task force. Public announcements. Don't worry, they're not radioactive. Back then, a letter or two mailed around. This morning, we found fish on the doorstep. End mortal surprise, stored in archives. Human response shifted from quaint curiosity to real-time outrage or viral content. There's comfort, after all, in that simpler curiosity, the soothing.com kind I'm aiming for as your bedtime narrator. And now, here we are, centuries later, recounting the tale in our pajamas, cup of tea at hand, giggling at the absurdity. Some things, like talking fish storms, never get old. I'll end by softly asking, what can we learn from a fish rain in London? Maybe life's surprising, even absurd moments are worth remembering. A little chaos, a dash of nature's whimsy, and a story that makes us smile when tucked in bed. This tale reminds us to expect unpredictability, to find humor in the bizarre, and to remember that history isn't just kings and battles, it's fish falling from the sky on a Tuesday morning. If nothing else, it gives us a reason to chuckle, to wonder, and to feel connected to past Londoners who probably muttered over soggy sprats. Well, that's new. So next time a stray raindrop hits your window, ask yourself, is it just water or the sky offering something fishy? Thanks for drifting through that slightly damp, wildly whimsical corner of London's past with me. If you enjoyed this fish-splattered journey, do drop a like, maybe even subscribe for more history that's oddly calming, gently funny, and occasionally surreal. In another video, I might regale you with the time birds attacked a library or when snow fell in the desert. Yes, that actually happened. All narrated in this cozy, tongue-in-cheek, bedtime story style. Until next time, may your skies remain fish-free. Unless you're a fish.